My name is Kostyantyn Stryzhychenko. I'm president of Ukrainian Kendo Federation and Doctor of Science in Economics in Dnipro Academy of Custom and Financial Education. I practice in Kendo 20 years and been one of them who created the Ukrainian Kendo Federation in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you get into Kendo in the first place? What were you doing before then? What were your interests and how did you discover this martial art?
2 or 3 years I practiced Aikido, and one time when I go to the dojo, my sensei, Aikido sensei, said that the dojo is closed now, and said me, let's go to the Kendo practicing. And when I go to Kendo dojo, my first Kendo sensei gave me a bokken and said, okay, please try. And after practicing, Kendo sensei looked to my eyes and asked me, can you come for the next practicing? I cannot decline him.
Wait, so your Aikido sensei was also practicing Kendo, or he told you to try it out? No. He said because
he
it's
tried
closed.
one time and finished.
Okay. What was it about Kendo that drew you to continue besides the sensei asking you to stay? You must have some kind of knack for it or interest.
Yeah, my Aikido sensei and Kendo sensei been a friend and connection with each others about Budo discipline in Kharkiv, in my city.
Okay. So maybe talk about those early days. I'd imagine, like you said, the Ukrainian Kendo only been around for a little bit of time. There must have not been very many practitioners in the beginning. How did you manage?
Yeah, when I started Kendo practicing in 2000, we had only 5-6 persons in Ukraine who practiced Kendo in 3 cities, in Kharkiv, in Kiev, and in Donetsk, and one guy in another city in Lvov. And we try make Kendo communities and try to connection with each other and development Kendo, because in my city we have only 2 or 3 persons in that time.
So talk about the organization of like getting people together, because there's always this balance of, okay, let's just practice, let's get enough people to enjoy the art, and then let's start creating official things. How did you manage, or how did the Ukrainian people manage that building up of Kendo in the country?
Yeah. Okay, I can recognize some periods about development Kendo. First periods when we invite our friends, let's go to try the Kendo, and this was first group. After this, we start create the Kendo Federation in different cities. After this, we start advertising in the public channels or some government advertising, and invite other people from schools and university. And the big step was the creation of Ukrainian Kendo Federation in 2008. And after this, we start make a big seminar in different area of Ukraine. I had a lot of traveling through the Ukraine and find person who can develop Kendo in the regions.
So you were doing all of this organizational stuff and practicing in your spare time, because you were working as well. How was that scenario like?
I worked in university, and when you work in university, you have free time from the teaching, and you can spend this time for your hobbies, for your educations. I try spend my time for the Kendo.
Okay. And at this time, what was the interaction with other countries? Like, what was the exposure? Did you go outside? Did you to come in to help grow your membership?
Yeah, we have a lot of cooperation and a lot of friendship with other Kendo communities in other part of the world. But now with COVID situation, we cannot go abroad. It's a big problem because I think is Kendo is more cooperation, and if more cooperation, you have new experience and receive more chance for improve yourself.
Mm. So if you had to think back to some of the more memorable events that you were either you organized or you participated in, could you name a couple of them and describe what was it like?
Yeah, I remember my big memories. First is creation Ukrainian Kendo Federation and travel to Brazil, and in Brazil we became a membership of European Kendo Federation in 2009. Other my first championship, European Kendo Championship in Budapest, and I had big memories with is the meet of Sumi Sensei in my city in Kharkiv when he came first time for organized Kharkiv Cup.
Okay, so let's start with that first one. You mentioned the acceptance of the Ukrainian Kendo Federation into the European Kendo Federation, but that happened in Brazil. How come that was? Why didn't it happen inside Europe? What was special about Brazil? What was happening there?
Because we want to go to join for European Kendo community, and it was one chance to go to Brazil and look for other Kendo from other world, look for Japanese, Latin people, for meet other friends, and I decided to go to Brazil for the European Kendo General Assembly.
And then what had to go on in that case to get Ukraine accepted?
Yeah.
What kind of work did you have to do to be accepted into the European Kendo Federation?
Yes, in the time Ukrainian Confederation was accepted to European Confederation in Brazil.
Oh yeah, but what type of work did you have to do?
Yeah, okay.
Did you paperwork? Did you have to organize events?
I had a lot of paperwork because you need to make organization questions, because you need some statutes, membership, seminars. Also, start from 2005, I start traveling through the Europe and meet senseis, took part in the seminar, participants, and try introduce Kendo in my country from 2005.
Okay. So when it comes to organizations like these, since most of the people are just interested in practice, like they go to the dojo, and what are some of the things that are required for an organization like a federation to exist? What kind of additional work do you and other executives, officers, or board members have to do on a regular basis?
Yeah. Now I try organization work in my federation as president. I also try organization work as a dojo leader, because now we have a hard time because now people, small part of people want to practice in Kendo and try find these people, try and continue interest of people who practice at Kendo. And I try make my business in heat metering.
So what seems to work in the Ukraine? I'm always interested in different countries and what attracts people to Kendo. Some countries have cultures that are very similar to Japanese culture. Some are very different. What seems to bring in Ukrainians to do Kendo, and what keeps them there?
Interesting questions. In my culture, in my city, in my country, we had three main points. First is open mind. It's help people accept new challenge. Second one is a big friendship, friendly people. And also Ukrainian people always support each other for new business or new starting.
What was the biggest draw for new people to join in the last 20 years? What seemed to work? Did you put advertisements? Universities? Did you?
We tried that, but firstly we try go to the school and find people in the school and university.
Okay, so you would organize classes at the universities?
We organized. We had one classes in the school in Kendo classes for the boys, and try make some presentation in university or city celebrations, for big city events, make a presentation.
Okay. The second event that you mentioned was something in Budapest. Could you talk about that experience? What was happening there? What was your personal experience there?
My personal experience is first experience I try. I find a lot of friends around the world. My second experience, it was I can make mistakes. It's not problem for everybody, because when in regular life, if you make mistakes, it's you can be a loser. But in Budo, if you make mistakes, you are students and try best each time. Okay.
And so when you're talking about when you practice and you make mistakes, usually is like your peers are supportive, and then you also have a sensei that really helps you out. Do you have a specific sensei that has supported you throughout like your practice and your progress?
One time in Prague, I met Odzawa Sensei, and he wrote on the it's best word in my life. He wrote that each person who met you is your sensei, and when I met people, it's always sensei for me. And but my Kendo sensei, for example, Sumi sensei and other sensei, always say me, never give up and try, do your best. Peer people is a former national team members from different country, always support me for development Kendo and try go for the seminar to Ukraine and help organize big event. And when I go through abroad of Ukraine, always support me in accommodation and communication in their countries. And also juniors support me when I look for my children or student groups. I understand that I make more work for became better and better, and always caring about my students and juniors.
One of the things I found through this podcast is just the number of connections between people that already know each other, even if they're across art. Could you talk about maybe, are there any like maybe 1, 2, 3 people that stand out that have progressed at the same time as you, or you always look forward to seeing at other events? And how are those relationships built up over time?
When you make relationships, these relationships always in progress. And when I speaking with my sensei or peer people, always I try make more relations and make a progress of these relations. And each people who met me and for example, my students from my dojo or from a different dojo from different country, also try to make relations with them and try to increase it.
Mm-hmm. Are there any specific people, like, for example, someone that you always see at a tournament that's always at a similar level to you? Or is there like a senior that always supports you when you go to them and they give you advice, but you only see them once a year and it always feels like you're good friends? Could you talk about maybe some specific people that you know?
Yeah, it's for example, Japanese sensei, Sumi sensei always support me, and European Kendo sensei support our federation and support our event, and Ukrainian Kendo person always go for the seminar and make a community communication with other people in other dojo. And from my dojo, people always support me because when we practicing together, we became better.
If you look at now that the Ukrainian Kendo team and how it participates in other international tournaments, how have you seen your progress and it develop over time? And what have you seen work the best in getting your level up to be competitive against some other countries?
Interesting question. When we start participation in European Kendo Championship, we lost all matches in our pool. We had English and Norway teams and lost all matches. But now we try fighting, and sometimes we go out from the pool, from the second place, and try fight from each other. But we change our relation for the championship. When we go first time, we want to win, but when we go for the championship now, we try to make best kendo. And sometimes we can lose, sometimes we can win. It's not give big problem for us.
Oh, tell me more about that. What is the difference between someone that's doing kendo to win and doing good kendo? How would you describe the difference between those?
When you want to win, you want to receive only results. When you make kendo, you want to make your better condition and better techniques, and you make and the results is the second, because a lot of factors can influence for the results. It's your opponent, it's your conditions, weather, and other. But if you make a best kendo, you haven't confused for yourself. It's not a problem for your mind if you lose when you make a best kendo. If you want results, your lose is a problem for your mind.
Yeah. And when you think about that kind of flip in mindset, that happens over time. And you think about progress in martial arts, a lot of people think that, okay, you just get better. But it's more like, oh, I get up and then I'm not getting any better. And then, oh, I jump up again. What are points in your life that you felt that, oh, I was practicing and I wasn't getting better, and then suddenly either you realized something or someone gave you something or you saw something that helped you in your own training?
When I started kendo, practicing kendo, 3 or 4 years, we practicing only in my dojo, or have had some communication with other dojo in other cities in Ukraine. We haven't chance go abroad, and we haven't experience. We practicing kendo only by video or books of Adzawa Sensei, and some Sensei look on some YouTube. And our progress is maybe this one. But after go abroad, we received a lot of new experience, and we start progress more and more. And big chance for Ukrainian Confederation was when European Kendo Sensei, Japanese Kendo Sensei come for our city, come to Ukraine and make a big seminar. We have a big horizontal line in progress, a lot of time, a lot of years.
Yeah, and especially right now when a lot of us are stuck inside. How have you managed your practice during COVID, and how have you looked at supporting the other during this time?
In Ukraine, some people from different dojo try traveling in Ukraine and come to other dojo and try practice in other dojo, because when you stand in one dojo, for in home dojo, you haven't progress and need to change experience with other people. Therefore, we try make a seminar, local seminar in between closed cities, and try practicing together.
So the is one challenge that we all face. From North America, like the only exposure I get to Ukraine or hear about it is the conflict that's happening right now, like with Europe and Russia. I was just wondering, there's always been some kind of history of conflict in that region. How do you see Kendo and Budo in general as being a way to help deal with that kind of stuff, to give people something to look up to and strive for?
I think that Budo, it's not depends from the nationality, religions, and other interests. Budo is a way for communication of the people is way of life, and you can use the principles of Buddha in regular life. If you use these principles, you cannot fight with each other. And I think Buddha can help make our construction real relations between the people. For example, I have a lot of people from Russia. It's my friends, and always we speak about Buddha and try find a way for meet each other. And sometimes I hope we meet each other in the dojo or in the saijo, and it's will be a good time. I hope this Buddha can unite people from different status.
Yeah, it's such a great thing that it doesn't matter what country you're from or what you do, but that not only do you can bring your whole self into the Buddha, but you can also bring it back into your life and help you treat things. How have you found ways of bringing it into the rest of your life? How does Kendo integrate with your life?
Buddha helped me firstly when I met people. I cannot estimate by first view of these people. I try find deep communication and try find a deep way for understand the people. Buddha helped me study different things from other people, because although as I said, each people is your sensei. And when I met people, I try studying best things from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's such a great outlook on things. So I want to get to some of these rapid fire questions. They're just questions that I ask every interviewee, because I find that they're interesting, and you can find some relationship between different people. The first one, I don't know if I have it written down, but if you had to split your Kendo career before and then after, so something that changed a lot, that, like, for example, for a person, it might be the graduation from university, it might be getting married, it might be having their first child. There's always there's a clear before and there's clear after. For your Kendo career, do you have a point in time, and can you describe it?
Yeah, it's was maybe three points of divide my Kendo life. First point was creation of Ukrainian Kendo Federation. Is open way for communication with other European and world people. Second point is coming of high-level Sensei to Ukraine and make big event. It's to help Ukrainian people improve Kendo and help me for organization, for improve my organization skills and communication skills with other people. And second, when I grading, I understand that my ego must decrease each time from grading to grading.
Mm-hmm. Was there a specific grade that you were going for that this came to mind?
Yes, was golden examination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another question: What seems to come easy to you but difficult for others? I'd imagine when I'm talking to someone, especially has founded like an organization and continues to do leadership in addition to their training, there's something that sets you apart. What would you think about that maybe comes easy to you?
Easy for me is the organization, but other side is a big chance for improve my organization skills, because when organization, I try to make it best way that people who come for seminars try and receive more information, more best accommodation, best sport hall, and I try make it. And it's easy for me for practicing for Kendo in Kendo life.
Mm-hmm. What have you changed your mind about in the last few years? Something that you used to believe strongly about one way, but now you realize there's another way of looking at it.
In the last 2 or 3 years, we haven't traveling a lot, and I understand that never stop Kendo, because Kendo can help in this life, and Kendo is a part of life and part of the principle of Kendo is a part of regular life, and never stop Kendo in this time, in this period, because very hard chance for practicing, because a lot of conditions. You cannot make a travel, and you cannot make arrange a sport hall and other.
Yeah, so you've been able to practice indoors, outdoors, over online?
We sometimes, always we practice indoors, but sometimes we practice outdoors, depends from the weather.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Another question would be, do you have a quote or a proverb or something that you have a favorite saying?
Yeah, when I cannot find an exit from the situation, always I said that always we have exit, but sometimes we didn't like this exit.
Do you have an example?
For example, I cannot go for Kendo practicing, some guys said me, because now is lockdown and we cannot practice inside. But, well, no problem. We can practice outside if you want. You can find one opportunity to make it. But always we have a lot reason for not make it. If I understand, if you understand it.
Yeah, you can always find a reason not to.
Yeah.
So
we
it's
can
important
find.
that you choose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need try find one opportunity for make it. Yeah.
So second last question. If we logged into your YouTube account, what kind of videos would we see? Just your personal YouTube account. Normally, it recommends videos based on what you like to see. Some people look at dogs, some people look at cat videos, some people look at comedy. What are the type of videos that often pop up in your YouTubes?
And in YouTube, I like ecological video about permaculture, or recognition of the earth and construction of the building. So my favorite videos.
What's permaculture?
Permaculture is one way for understanding that can I care about yours, not plant only one culture in one piece of yours. I must plant different culture and make differences in the planet.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Is there like one video that stands out to you recently that you watched that you would recommend to others?
Yeah, it's a video from this direction is Sepp Holzer. He's from Austria, Krameterhof, and big expert in permaculture.
Okay. Well, so thank you so much for sharing so much of your story and taking the time. Do you have anything in closing that you want to share with the audience, with others that are going through this time right now, whether inside your country or even internationally?
I can advise the people that always make your aim and try make your step to the aim on the Buddha principles. You have moral or Reicho codex in your heart, and try make this codex in your life.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that and for giving us a glimpse into your little part of the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.